Welcome to Live Laugh Talks, His and Hers with Mico. How you doing, Mico?
I'm great. How are you, James?
Oh, doing fantastic. Here for another week with you. That's always a joy.
Yes, yes.
Look forward to this time with us together. So,
Likewise.
we what we do. We have our conversations, and then we like to include the world on what we talk about. And what we were talking about is entrepreneurship,
Mm.
and we see the world changing in that way in so many ways. And we see the entrepreneurs coming along and doing the things that change society, change economics. And especially since COVID, we've seen the entrepreneurs come out of almost seemingly nowhere and have successful businesses that I imagine are going to be around for a lifetime.
I would really hope so. I see a lot of them out there, and I'm rooting for them.
That's exactly right. But I guess the big question on people's mind is, why do people turn to entrepreneurship? I mean, for myself, I made a great salary working my 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So me deciding to just leave that, start my own business, was unthinkable. Even my boss was like, "What are you thinking?" You know, he offered me more money. He was like, "Well, what's going on? What is, you know?" So the question on many people's minds, our minds. So what make people decide to become an entrepreneur? Well, 29% of people in the world, I'm the one with the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to talk about the whole world. We're going to talk about the US. Let me straighten that out. 29% say the reason is the same reason I had, because they want to be their own boss.
Mm-hmm.
I personally can't think of a finer reason, because when I was working for my former boss, he was a very nice gentleman, but every day I pulled up and I saw the name on the side of that building, I realized that he was making all the money and I was doing all the work.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking, well, wait a minute. I could do all the work and make all the money.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the way of being an entrepreneur for me. Now, what are some of the things that you have heard individuals say, or possibly some of the things you may have thought as a reason to become an entrepreneur?
So now I had a t-shirt company that I had started when I got out the military. And
Hmm.
the reason I had started that was because I had a lot of medical issues. So it's hard for me to actually go. I could probably get a job, showed on my resume, and I have the background and everything, but maintaining that job will be hard. So
Right.
my issue was the work schedule, being able to do something on my time, you know, come in when I want to, leave when I want to. The amount of product that I put out, what I wanted to put out, not what somebody else was requiring me to do. Um,
Right.
being again, that's a big one. Being your own boss, you know, somebody not telling you what to do or how to do it. Um, just reevaluating what people want out of life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
what do you want? Do you really want to be a worker bee, or like you said, you want to be on top, giving out the solutions and fixing things, and telling people how to fix things. um it's so many different reasons that people go into entrepreneurship, not just one of those big things. It's not just about the amount of money you make. It's what makes you happy inside. You doing something you
Yes.
really want to do.
Right. And I think about that too. A lot of times when people think about being an entrepreneur, they think, "Oh man, I could be my own boss."
Hmm.
And like you said, that, hey, that's what we started off with. But that's also a pro and a con. You know,
Right.
the pro to be your own boss is just that. You can set your own schedule, decide what you're going to do for the business, decide who to hire, all types of. You make all the decisions. But the con of that is everything falls on you.
Everything.
Right. So I mean, And if you're not a person who is not self-disciplined,
Mm,
you're not going to make it.
right.
That's the entire key to me. I know a lot of people they will say that people and communication skills is the key, and I agree that if you have people skills, you have communication skills, then you can sell ice and snow. But if you're not self-disciplined, you might not be out there to sell the ice and the
Mm-hmm.
snow.
Right.
And so, what did you find to be the key to your success?
So I ended up closing my business because I actually had a business with me and my daughter. So the deal was I would set everything up, make sure everything was running properly. I would do the marketing and everything, but she paints. She's an artist. So
Wow.
taking her artwork and putting it on t-shirts. She just does beautiful work. The problem was getting her to create new art in
Right.
a timely manner. She felt like she was so good that people were just going to buy her stuff. She doesn't have to work hard for it. They were just going to give it to her. And I was like, that's not how a business works. You have to put into it to get out of it.
Right.
So I got frustrated in the end because I felt like I was doing, even though it was her artwork, I wasn't the one painting. I was putting everything on the t-shirts and marketing everything and doing all the paperwork and setting everything up, doing the footwork, going out there to the different businesses to try to put our shirts in there. But
Hmm.
you have to keep the product coming.
Right.
you know what
Right.
I'm saying? And I just felt like she was more of a silent partner than anything.
Right. Well,
So
see,
I didn't
you had one person with artistic talent and the other person with the self-discipline.
have right. So it just, I really wanted it to work because I could see it really going far. But, you have to, even if I was to keep it going myself and it was just, I felt like I was going to get more help than I did, was the
Right.
problem. So, if you're going into a business with someone, also, y'all have to be on the same page.
Right.
You need to
And
talk.
I have found that to be a challenge
Right. You have to talk about things and make sure that um the goals are the same, and then how to get to those goals are the same.
because even if you go into business with a family member, I've done that.
Mhm.
You go into business with that family member, that doesn't necessarily put you guys on the same page.
Right.
Because what ended up happening with me, it was somewhat the opposite.
Mhm.
The I had the people and communication skills, and a family member had the self discipline beyond reproach. Like if I thought that I was self disciplined, nothing compared to that person. But what ended up happening was over. I'm just going to say a 5 year span because that family member was so self disciplined and so in tune with business and every I being dotted, T being
Mhm.
crossed,
Mhm.
they drove themselves out the business. They were no longer happy. They had just burnt out in 5 years
Mm.
and wanted out.
Oh.
And but at that point, what ended up happening, the bad part of okay, I want out. Let's just say if we looked at that and we just say, well, we'll buy that person out.
Mhm.
The problem with that is when you're an entrepreneur, you go in business with somebody, people fall in love with the both of you.
Uh-huh.
Like in your case, maybe it been vendors. It was vendors that fell in love with her artwork and
Right.
your discipline, and they fell in love with the both of you. And then if one of you is going somewhere, that could hurt the business. I literally said to the family member, "This business cannot survive without you.
Mhm.
Like if you left tomorrow, I can envision. I'm not a fortune teller, but 50% of the people would leave this. They don't have a reason to be here because what we were selling was being sold on every corner. The
R-
only reason why they were coming to us was because they liked the two people.
Right.
They fell in love with the people. So
Mhm.
then, and that's what you try to do with your customers. You try to win them over. You try to bound them over, get them to fall in love with you because otherwise they can go anywhere.
Mhm.
So we've had them fall in love. She wants to leave. The customers are going to go. They're going to go elsewhere. They're
Mm.
not coming here. And she was so good with the customers, the vendors, the everybody.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was hard. And then I had another business that I started with who a person I thought was a friend of mine. And then I don't even have to tell you how that goes by just saying thought was a friend of mine. You find out who your friends are when you go in business with each other. Left me there by myself when things started getting tough, which that's what happens in a small business. But that's so there's a challenge there for me, and I guess we're talking about it without actually mentioning it. Is becoming an entrepreneur. Do you do that with by yourself, or do you go in it with a partner? Going in it with a partner to me made it less scary, but in the end didn't yield the results that I was hoping because the partners no longer wanted to be there.
Right.
And it's same with you. The partner just wasn't
Yeah,
self-disciplined enough.
she wanted to get the checks, but she she
Right.
didn't want to do the work behind it. And as you say, when there's a lot on your plate, you know what I'm saying, and you want everything to be right. And I didn't realize how how intense it was to own your own. You got to keep up with all the supplies,
Yes.
knowing what's coming in and out. You gotta, taxes, knowing how to do the tax.
Don't forget the tax man.
Mm-hmm. And the marketing behind it, making sure
Right.
that, everybody, people know about you,
Yes.
making sure you get out there and get to places and just being seen. So, yeah, it was just a lot, but I enjoyed it. And I'm really looking forward to finding something else. I haven't figured out what I want to get into, but I know that I definitely want to open up another business.
And whatever it is that you do, you're going to be successful because you're successful in everything you do.
Hmm?
Then that's no doubt about it there. But the reason for your success is that self discipline. Let me ask you a question. This is a personal question. Put you on the spot.
Hmm.
Where did the self discipline come from? Was it from family that raised you? Was it the military,
You know,
or was it just in yourself?
no, I think mine actually came from the military.
Okay.
A lot of that, you have to have stuff in at a certain time. You have to make sure this is correct. You have to make sure you check and recheck certain things. All of that came from, the military, just constantly going back and forth with things and making sure this is right and that's right and checking and rechecking. And um, uh, I think most of it came from the military. I will say some of it is me, that perfectionist in me, that I don't want to send out a product that's not correct. You know,
Right.
somebody to talk about or somebody to say, "Mm-mm, I didn't like that." In the beginning, I sent out a lot of a few kind of not samples, but I wanted to get people's opinion on the material and okay, how does this feel? How does it fit? Type of thing. So I just and I love that interaction with people, and it put me in a place when I had my own. Like I said, I could do it when I want, how I want it. With the medical issues I have, there was a lot of problems that at another job they'd be like, "Oh, you can't stand for this amount of time. Oh, your memory's bad, so nope, we can't. You can't do this or all,
Right.
all of this was on me. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it was just easier for me to do it that way, and that's why, ever go back into the work field, I really would love to do something on my own and not have to worry about, am I producing enough to keep the employer happy?
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, and that's a lot of times why people leave their employers because some employers are never happy,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what you do. I actually had my first boss was that way. I don't care. I could come in 5 in the morning. We ain't open till 8, but I don't care how early I came in, how late I left. And he was the one that trained me. He's the one brought me into this. I don't care how many cars I doubled, tripled the amount of sales that he was doing before I got there. And he still was okay if we sold 200. Why couldn't we sell 300? I mean, that was his goal. If I sold 300, then he'd be like, well, if he could have done three, that looks to me like four was around the corner. I mean, he just never
Mm.
happy, which, just was exactly what I need to get out the door. But when we start thinking about small businesses, a lot of times what keeps people from jumping out there in the water is the thought of failure.
Yes, they do.
And in reality, that holds people back.
Mm,
Because if you go into anything thinking you're going to fail, guess what? You will.
fail.
I talk about this every time somebody comes to me about my motorcycle. I get it all the time. I get people who fall in love with me. There's a friend, and they go, "Oh, I would hate to lose you in a motorcycle accident." There's a whole lot of things can happen to James in a day. And James could get shot, run over by a car, wild animal could eat him. He could just die of natural causes. But in everybody's mind, it's the motorcycle that's gonna kill me, right? So
Hmm.
so I tell these friends that, you know what? If I get on that bike with the thought that I'm gonna die on it, I'm probably gonna die on it. So I don't get on there thinking about that. Like you don't get in your car thinking about I probably could die going to work today. You put that thought out of your mind. It's true,
Hmm.
but you put it out of your mind. And why do you have to put it out of your mind? Because if you don't put it out of your mind, you'll never ride that motorcycle, or you'll never get in that car, or you'll never board a plane, or whatever. If you're thinking about failure, well, same way with business. If you go into it with the idea of failure, you're going to fail. You got to go into it with the thought process that this is going to work.
Right. Right.
Now, the statistics are not in our favor. Uh, and it really is in our favor because 20% of businesses fail within the first year. That's 20%. 80% made it. Okay. And then 50% fail within the first 5 years, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So that's still 50% that made it.
Hmm.
So, it's a 50-50 chance. It's an 80-20 chance the first year, 80 being in our favor that you're going to succeed. So what you got to do is you got to get out there and do it. You got to take that leap of faith because if you never take it, you'll be the age I am now, which I'm not sitting around and talking about age, but you'll be that age and you'll regret that you never did.
Hmm.
Do it and give yourself a chance because the most common reason that businesses fail has nothing to do with the person. It might be that the market has changed for
Right.
their product or their service.
Hmm.
It doesn't necessarily have to 42% of businesses fail because there's no market or the market actually changed. Like we looked at COVID and all of a sudden everything changed.
Yes.
Restaurant businesses changed,
Mm.
car businesses changed. Everything changed overnight. And so all of a sudden, there goes mom and pop shops.
Hmm.
It wasn't that mom and pop wasn't awesome. The whole market changed. So I mean, I know you feel the same. If you don't jump out there, if you don't do it, if you don't take that shot, then you can never have success. You
Mm.
can only have success if Michael Jordan only had success because he took the shot. If he just held on to the ball, we would never know how great he was.
Yeah, you got to take that shot. And then with people, just like you said, with restaurants, a lot of restaurants fail. Um, I think you have to learn to adapt also.
Right.
When you have entrepreneurship business type thing, you have to make sure that, when times change, that you change along with it. You have to go in there and figure out what's changed. How do
Right.
how can I adapt to this? A lot of them adapted by just, you know, delivering food instead of having
Hmm.
people come. Um, just doing takeouts instead of, opening your restaurant up. Okay, the restaurant is open, but you can't come in, but you can, do takeouts. So
Right.
a lot of restaurants failed in that sense where they just were like, oh well, we can't open up at all. Well,
And they just didn't. And then they went out of business.
right, and then you went out of business. So you have to be knowledgeable. Just do a lot of research on the business and know what it is you want to do and how you want to do it and how long you want to do it. Um,
Right.
I think the internet makes things a lot easier because you're able to reach a larger target audience. So
Correct.
than before, where you just you were footing it or who you knew type of thing. Internet helps you get out there and um, just reach a whole lot more people than you were before. Um, people who want to open businesses, you can get grants. You can have your friends or people you know invest in your business to help you get started.
Right.
Um, Loans to help you get started. I mean, there are different ways to actually start your business. You just have to know. I would definitely come up with a business plan first.
Well, that's a must.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be the first thing that you do.
Yes. Come up with a business plan, know what it is you want to do, figure out the finances and the funds that you need and where this is going and where that is going, and be able to present that so that if somebody asks you, you're already, the first step is done. You're set up.
Right.
And a lot of people think, oh, well, I haven't gone to school for that. I don't know. Google is wonderful. You can find examples of those things and just take it from there and be like, okay, this is an example of what a business plan is. So let me see if I can follow it. There's different types of business plans. Pick the one that best fits your needs and go from there.
Yes, and there are nonprofit organizations out there that will
Oh,
help you build your business plan too.
yes, yes.
But I like what you brought up about financing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can turn a family. 10% of small businesses are financed by friends and family.
See?
9% by unsecured loans or the Small Business Administration started many of these businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to go in with a whole wad of cash either. Only, it's 37% of our small businesses that started off with cash. But most people need either friends and family, a loan, or they,
Mm-hmm.
small business administration. That's what helped them to be able to finance. And then, like you said, the internet is a useful tool. You can build a business plan, but you want to have a business plan. You can have the greatest idea on earth,
Mm-hmm.
but if you can't put it on paper,
On
it
paper.
doesn't exist.
Yes.
It's just in your head, and it will fail. You got to be able to put it on paper to not only, I've always learned it this way. If it's on paper, I can explain it to the bank, I can explain it to my partner, and I can explain it to the employee.
Right.
I can tell everybody, all three, what the business plan is, where we're going to go, how we're going to go, and when we're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just in my head, it's just a wish.
Right.
It's got to be written for there to be an actual plan. So, yes, Google that, build that business plan, start that business, and see that you will be successful. And to move on, some people have a lot of doubt because maybe they're thinking, well, I don't have a college degree.
Mm.
I get out there and I have to talk to banks or whoever I have to talk to. And I'm just a regular guy. You know, guess what? Most people who start their business are the regular people.
Mm-hmm.
30% of entrepreneurs only finish high school.
Mm, mm, mm.
31% have an associate degree. 17%, we start going down now. 17% have a bachelor's degree. Up a little bit. 18% obtain a master's degree, but then only 4% have a PhD. So most people finish high school.
Right.
That's it. And they're out here owning and starting their own business. So you don't have to be some PhD, master's degree, or have a bachelor's degree to get out here and be successful in your small business.
Mm-hmm.
Do it with just a high school education. But what we do know is that it's the small businesses in the U.S. that count for most of the U.S. And what I mean by that, 31.7 million is the number of small businesses in the US. I'll say that again, 31.7 million. And only 20,000 are large businesses. So that means that small businesses account for 99.9% of all the businesses in this country. So
Uh-huh.
they're the lifeblood of the whole American dream. When we talk about the American dream, it's the small businesses. It's the mom and pops. It's those that graduated high school and wanted better, that went out here and started their own business, got things going, and have now hired the most people in the United States.
Uh-huh.
Small businesses during COVID era created 10.5 million net new jobs, while the large enterprises only created 5.6 million. So it's the small businesses that keeps this country going, makes the most money, that brings in the most jobs. And they're also, as you mentioned at the onset, the most adaptable.
Uh-huh.
It's the small businesses that made the adaptations. We saw the big businesses, like some of these restaurants you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Some of them had big names. They were franchises, been around for years, shut down. They're not
Uh-huh.
here anymore. Or they're losing their numbers. I mean, we probably could sit here and name them all on the top of our heads. But those small businesses figured out a way to keep going.
Uh-huh.
You know what I like to think about outside of the restaurant was during COVID with what I saw in the car business. So all of a sudden, the big business machines, your Ford, Chrysler, uh, GM products, all of a sudden didn't have smart chips to put in the new cars. Can't
Uh-huh.
sell a car without those computer brains anymore.
Uh-huh.
So those cars just sat in Atlanta
Uh.
on a big old warehouse.
Uh. Uh.
Just they already built, they just don't have a chip.
Uh.
They just sat there. What happened? Small business people, the small car dealers, they start working harder at the auctions. They get more of the used cars. Then all of a sudden, the big guys say, "Hey, wait a minute. We got to start going to those auctions now. We got to go where
Uh-huh.
the small business people are going to start buying these cars that they're buying." Well, it
Right.
hurt the small businesses. It did. It hurt them when the big guys started coming in there buying up cars. But the thing was, those small guys were adaptive. And what ended up happening because we couldn't be face to face. Because a lot of people didn't want to go to the car dealership
Uh-huh.
and kick tires or walk around anymore. Adaptation, like you mentioned. Now that's become the norm. It's hard to get. If you pass by a car lot, it's rare you see somebody walking around it anymore.
Uh-huh.
Everybody pick out their car online,
Yeah.
and now it's changed since COVID. That there's some car dealerships that you can't walk around the lot. Like for instance, we're not gonna name any names because we don't have sponsors. But but there's a certain car dealership that has a pinball machine.
Oh, yes. I was
You
about to
can't
say
even you can't go in there and drive the car and kick a tire. You
that.
you got to put your quarter in the pinball machine after you already got the finance, and it brings it down to you the pinball machine, and then you drive off in it. I should say vending machine. It's a vending machine, and you drive off in it, and then they give you like 10, 15 days. If you don't like it, you can bring it back.
Uh-huh.
But that's how it goes now. People are delivering cars, even the
Yeah.
they deliver the car to the person.
Uh-huh.
Um, again, no sponsors, but there's one main manufacturer out there of electric cars. You know who it is. I ain't saying his name because he ain't paying me. But don't even have a real dealership.
Uh,
You build your car online,
uh,
and then
online.
they send you a date the car is going to be built. You just go over to the place where they got them stocked at and pick it up.
Uh-huh.
They send you an address. Oh, come over here. They don't even have a real service department. Oh, you have a problem with the car. We just send you some data. You just download the data and keep driving.
Yeah,
What
keep driving.
you know? What kind? So but COVID made these businesses come about because now they're adapting.
Right.
Now they're dealing with the people. So back in the day, the people had to go to a car lot. Now the car lot comes to the people.
Uh-huh.
And it's only antiquated states like the one that I live in, not yours. Yours is ahead of the game. Yours is where the vending machine people are actually um, licensed.
Uh,
But those all these antiquated states, they got the books written from 1952. They still want people to come down to the lot, and you got
uh,
to have a lot open. And it's got to be these hours, and we got to come check on you, man. The world has moved forward. It's beyond that. These other progressive states have it going now where you could just buy online, do your
right.
paperwork online.
Uh-huh.
You no need to go to a dealership whatsoever unless you just want to go, test drive the car. But now they got 15, 30-day drives. You don't like it, bring it back.
Okay, bring it back.
So I mean, what's I just like the way things like before COVID. You used to have to go to a restaurant. You want something to eat, you got to go there.
Uh-huh.
During COVID, after COVID, and I can sit home and order anything I want. And some nice person's gonna come bring it to me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we couldn't even imagine that,
Sure could.
years before.
Uh-huh.
You
That
remember when?
thing.
Okay, now we're near Christmas, and you remember when people used to go shopping, like go to a store?
Yeah, now they buy everything offline.
Yeah, you go to the mall right now, it's empty.
Poor,
You
poor,
know, they be,
poor mailman.
yeah, they need some bonuses this time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when, man, it was and Black Friday and all that was the big days at the retailers. Not anymore. COVID changed all that.
Mm,
Now people just sit at home. I want to buy a gift for mom and dad. I just buy it online and send it to them.
yep.
You know,
Too easy.
and all of these businesses that we just talked about, the vending machine company, the car dealership that you buy it online, and the online purchases, the online um, restaurants, all of this were small businesses. They
Mm,
were small people with a dream, with a thought, and it became a reality and it took over.
yeah.
And now the big boys are looking for cover. You
Mm-hmm.
you remember when you used to see taxi cabs?
Oh, yeah. No more. Uber.
Not anymore. Small business came along and took that business.
Yes.
I don't even see a taxi cab anymore. I got to move to New York to see one, I guess. So it's just it's amazing if you have an idea, you have a dream, and you put that to paper. It's amazing what can come out of that. The profitability is all there for
Mm-hmm.
you. What do you think? I mean, what was the hardest thought when you got into being an entrepreneur? I know for me, it was what I was going to make. Like when I put my business plan together, I literally put on the business plan that I was going to make less money than I've ever made in my life
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted the business to succeed that first year, and then I could live off the minimum. Most small businesses, self-employed people make around 51,000 a year if if they are incorporated. The unincorporated make half that, so around about 26. So so many entrepreneurs have to work some side gigs, they have to do some other things
Mm-hmm.
to make that business roll. But that is the key for me. I had to stop and think about what I'm going to make and what I could live on so that the business could profit.
Right.
What was one of the things that you had to do that was big in making your plan?
Um, that was big in making the plan.
Sure. Yeah, for me it was my salary.
I mean,
That was hard.
so because I was already retired, I wasn't really concerned about the salary so much.
Right.
Um, I was more concerned about product and,
The product.
making sure I had the right material. Because
Mm,
when you make t-shirts, sometimes you got those really thick vinyls that's on there. Then
mhm,
sometimes you got the vinyls that, almost are as thin as the shirt.
mhm,
And so I went through a lot of product just testing things to see what I felt was right for the right, that went on the right material and things like that. I'm a real stickler for just making sure that I don't I I hate getting products, especially clothing that doesn't fit right or
mm.
cheaply made or you wash it one time and that's it.
Yeah, I
So,
got a T-shirt one time that I ordered online, and when it came to me, it looked like it was used.
see?
Like maybe they got it out of the Goodwill garbage can, and then put the the item on there. And then when I looked at it, it was all linty and it looked old and like where does T-shirt come from?
Yeah, so you have to worry about all of that stuff. And then also the great thing about things nowadays, like I said, it's so much easier to do a business because with t-shirts, you can just I learned after the fact, after I had started it and I had started using that later on, but you can have a company make your t-shirts for you. You know,
There you go.
you go online,
Yeah,
put your little design in there, and they produce it and send it out for you. So that made things a lot easier because I was doing everything by hand at first.
right.
And then when I caught on to that, I was like, "Oh, I ain't even got to do this. I can have somebody else do it. It's more out of pocket because it's somebody else. So now you're paying somebody else to do it, but it frees up a lot more of your time."
Now I will mention one company I know because they are a sponsor of the show. It's Shopify
Mm-hmm.
that will do that for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will mention them because we actually have a link on our website.
Mm-hmm.
And Shopify is a sponsor of the show. So hey, I'll mention them. Amazon too is a sponsor.
Yeah.
I mention them too. Amazon. We'll look out for the entrepreneur.
Mm,
Really, you can build a business. Even being where with what I like about Amazon is like you said there. You don't have to be the inventor of the wheel.
right.
Like I can see an item that I like on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
put it on our website.
Yep.
It'll just show up like right now it's wintertime, so I can just put up a space heater
Mm-hmm.
and buy it myself or whatever. Put the link on there to on our website, and then people who start buying that heater, now I'm getting paid a percentage.
See? And
So you become an entrepreneur overnight.
right. And you don't have to worry about shipping.
None of that.
That.
They
So
do it all. They just give James a piece of the pie
a
for
piece of,
putting it on his website, and people click James's link.
yes. And that's what I love about, this new age. There's a lot that you can just get into. One thing I did want to talk about was just making sure people knew that, that those opportunities was out there for basic things. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be um a genius to start a business. People start businesses creating soaps, natural soaps. Natural soaps are a big thing these days.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I noticed there are a lot of people out there doing natural soaps, the lotions, doing natural shampoos, and they making good money off of these things because if you think about it, when you go into the store and you purchase things, there are so many things in our products these days that are tearing us down instead of building
Right.
us up. So you got a lot of people that are doing natural things, and that's a great way to go when you want to just you know what I'm saying, start a business or do something. People who like to cook, you know what I'm saying? People started off selling plates and
Yes.
ended up with their own little mini restaurant, and then the whole restaurant came out of
And food trucks. They started.
food
There was this
truck.
one lady
Yes.
selling plates, like you said, on Craigslist, and then she had it on Facebook Marketplace. And now she's got a food truck
See?
here in our town.
Yes.
And she started from selling plates online.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
I just
amazing.
right. And I'm like, it's the simple things, you know what I'm saying?
You don't have to think of
Photography.
something huge or something new. Like my dad always used to say, if you think of something simple
Mm,
that somebody can use every day,
right,
then you can start your business from there.
right. The small things and just build from there.
Hmm.
Build
Yeah,
build
and like
from
you
there.
said, the health and beauty business, we're talking about 9% of all businesses in the
Mm-hmm.
United States is a
Mm-hmm.
health and beauty type. That's a lot of, we're talking billions right there.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
come up with your own soap, or like the ladies that they started a product that their aunt had told them about, and they started their own health line. I mean, their own hairline using the product of their aunt, and
Mm-hmm.
started a whole line of business from there. And now they started the thing. They started selling online. Now they're being sold in all of the retail stores. So
Right.
it can start off small and end up huge. I've even watched Shark Tank, and there's been
Yes.
people that come on that show, and they have an idea, and it's bought. And I've seen some people where the sharks go, "Why do you need us? You're already doing great as it
Mm-hmm.
is." Because some people just don't know how great they've got it or how great they're doing,
Yeah.
until they sit down and talk to another individual about it. But
Or
yes,
some
there's
people
so many common people out here that are profitable. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, or some people who went on the show and the Shark Tank didn't approve or was like, no, that's not gonna work or we don't agree. The Ring camera.
I
You know
was
how
just about to say
big that
that.
is? That is huge.
That's the biggest fail of that show.
Yes.
They laughed the guy out of the room. They were like, well, who's to say that somebody else can't just come along and make this? I mean, it's not one of those one of a kind things. We don't see where it can have a longevity and be profitable. Now, name me somebody that don't have one of those cameras.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
he, and it's just amazing how big that business came
Mm,
from an idea,
from
and
an
it was
idea.
like Dad said, it was simple, affordable, and everybody feel like can use one.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at how big it is now that even the police department uses it. There's a crime committed in the area. They
Mm-hmm.
start looking around at everybody's doors and who's got ring cameras,
Yep.
and then they start, soliciting the materials off of the ring camp,
Mm-hmm.
solving crimes with them.
Solving crimes
It's amazing.
with
It,
somebody's
it, it
simple
really is.
idea. That's why I was like, people need to, if you don't have a side hustle, get you one. Think about something that you like to do, that that um just entertains you, or something that is a hobby for you, and see if you can make a couple bucks off of it. And then take
Right.
side hustle and don't make it a side hustle. Turn that side hustle into your business.
There
So
you go.
it may take some time and a little effort, but with little, faith, you can turn a mustard seed. What is it? What is it about a mustard seed?
Yeah, you're going to ask me now.
Yeah, I'm asking you because the
You're going to
mustard
bring
seed.
something up then
It
ask
was
me what
it
it
was
is.
in my mind,
Uh,
but just
yes,
um
something about move a mountain with faith of a mustard seed. Something like
yeah,
that.
just
I
what I'm
forgot it.
saying. Like,
It's actually a
people
scripture,
can do
but
more than they think they
slipped my
can.
mind.
They really can. They can.
Right.
You can do a lot. You just have to have the faith and the willpower to do it, and not
Right.
give up. Just whatever you do, don't give up.
That's the key. Don't give up.
Mm,
And I just want to bring up one more point
mhm.
before we summarize. But we know as a fact that in this country there are many people who are overlooked.
Right.
Um,
Definitely.
sadly, in my belief, I think this country is a racist country,
Mm.
but it's more sexist than it is racist. It's more sexist. It's a shame of what happened with women. And I mean, I know I can go into a whole another hour of how women are mistreated in this country.
Mhm.
But when we start looking at small businesses, we look at the fact that 27% of small business owners in the United States are women. That's a huge number.
Mhm.
27%. And why? Mainly because they started their business. 71% of these women started the business to make a difference because they weren't making the same income as the men doing the same job.
Mhm.
And that's a shame because women had to choose the path to make the high income as opposed to the men counterparts. And they did it. They stepped out there, they went out there, they had the faith of that mustard seed, as you mentioned,
Mm,
and they were able to move a mountain.
mhm.
And that's the beautiful thing about it is that whether you're being held down or you feel like you can't make it because you're a minority or
The
you're
odds
a
are.
female,
Mm,
the odds are against you.
mhm.
They really are for you if because the bottom line is if you have an idea that makes money, nobody cares what race you are or what sex you
Mhm.
are. It starts becoming a thing about money.
Right.
So like you said, the thing is to come up with the idea to get your business plan together.
Mhm.
Let's do that, please. Then we want to think about how we're going to finance the plan.
Mhm.
There's friends, family, unsecured loans. The Small Business Administration is there for you. They could even do little to no interest for your new business.
Mhm.
Then, in addition to that, you want to make sure that you come up with a financial plan in which you can still make a living and get out there and get that business going. Don't be scared. Because if you're scared, scared money don't make none, as they say.
Mhm.
But we know that this is a difficult path. It's not easy for everybody. It's a difficult path. That's why everybody's not doing it. Few succeed. And it's not for the faint of heart. If you got, you get stressed out because you didn't make the money you thought you was gonna make this month, and it didn't happen that next month, this isn't a career for you because it does have its moments where it's tough.
Right.
However,
Mhm.
the rewards are innumerable. And those who succeed in creating a business are happy. They're more confident. They're free. And that can be you. You can be free of the shackles of that job that you hate to go to every Monday morning.
Yes.
And that's the way we have to look at it. I remember I mentioned on another podcast about having the opportunity to speak to James Brown.
Mhm.
And that's what he told me. He said, I told him what I wanted to do with my life. And he said, do it. And don't let anyone hold you back or tell you what you can't do. And there's going to be troubles that come your way. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be all kind of things. There's going to be people trying to take your business from you. But you never give up on your dream. The greatest advice I had ever given was from the hardest working man in show business. And he never gave it. He never stopped. This man had people trying to take his businesses, as we know. But he had all kinds of things going against him. But he never quit. He never stopped. And he was a huge success because of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way we have to be as entrepreneurs. And we
Yes.
we need more entrepreneurs. We need more young people. Also, I want to bring one more point out and I'll shut up. But we have seen a rise in our young people. There's a young lady in North Carolina started a lemonade business at age 14.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's become one of the biggest businesses in the area. She's graduated high school and she's got trucks going all over the country.
Mm.
Just graduated high school and she's got a whole business working in her favor, financing her college education.
Stay there.
She started when she was 14.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no age limit. You could be 14 or you could be 80. There's no 8 to 80. It's no limits on you. Get out there and do it. Because if you don't, you're going to live the rest of your life, as I said earlier, regretting that you did.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking now, trying to find something for my grandson because he is this little boy on his own. He will look for stuff. I'm talking about little teeny things, little toys he not using. He don't want no more, or candy, all little Halloween candy and stuff, and go to school and sell it. He come home with like 15, $20. What you
Why?
doing? He like, Nene, I sold this stuff. He showed me Friday a whole box of just little stuff, and the little kids are buying it.
Isn't that something?
And it's crazy because you know what? They even use Cash App, and he 9 years old. I'm like, this is amazing. So yes, I am looking for something for him to get into because he definitely has the mindset for it.
Yeah, I was that candy guy in school.
Hmm.
My dad, when I go to Sam's and talk to my dad and let me buy, like a whole box of candy.
Yes,
And he's like, "What you gonna do with all that candy?" And I go
sell
to
it,
school and sell it.
sell it.
Yeah, but I got in trouble for that because one, I didn't tell him about it, and principal wasn't too happy because they had vending machines, and I was, undercutting the vending machine.
Oh Lord. Well,
Made all the business.
I'm gonna let him do
Yeah,
it till somebody stop him because he been on.
right there.
He
There
has
you
been
go.
on it. I'm just like, I don't understand.
And maybe he won't have a principal that's cutting out, the efforts of a young person. Instead of looking at, wow, look at what this young person is doing,
Hmm.
come along and just snatch the rug right out from under him. And hopefully that won't happen to the little
Yeah,
fella. Yeah, but he's an entrepreneur already at the
he
age
he
of 9. You
already
see it
is.
in it.
He got his
Yeah,
matter of fact. He got his big brother working for him. I said, I'm so confused because
I
how
love it.
you 9 and he 14? How does this work? But okay,
I love it.
whatever works.
Yes, yes. Hey, Michael had his brothers singing with him. He was way younger than them, but
Yes,
he was the lead
and
singer.
he was the lead
So
singer. That's how I
there you
go.
go. Your grandson's the baby. It can lead them all, since we quote scripture
Hmm.
today about mustard seeds and all. So the child comes along and leads the
And
rest.
start doing it. He want me to teach him
There
how
you
to
go.
do stocks. So,
Wow.
your kids, if they into things, go ahead and start them off young.
Please.
Into
Please.
that, to let them know that they can do this on their own. They don't have to work for somebody when they turn 18. They could already have their own. Like you said, the 14-year-old already got your own.
Yes. And I tell you, you can't go to one of the events in North Carolina without seeing her brand of lemonade
Mm,
at that event, whether it's the fair or whatever it is.
yeah.
It's amazing. And she started that thing when she was 14.
And I love
Unbelievable. So yeah, so that's the beautiful thing about it. It's nice to have you here. You've been an entrepreneur. You can give advice to others. We encourage people. Please go to admin at livelaughtalk.com. That's admin at livelaughtalk.com. Give us your thoughts on this. If you have questions, you got two entrepreneurs here that can answer
it.
them for you. And we've been there, done that. Ask us, and we can definitely hope to lead you along the right path.
Yes.
So we definitely appreciate you, Miko. It's always a joy being with you. And were there any final thoughts you'd like to share at all, whether it's on this subject or anything else?
I mean, that was it. Just make sure, anybody out there, if this is what you want to do, put your mind to it and go for it. Don't let anybody hold you back. Don't let anything block your path. What's for you is for you.
Amen. And as we say every week, and we're going to continue every week because I'm loving this. Aren't you guys loving it? I mean, us together, it's been awesome. So I definitely think this is the way that we should have started from the get go, the two of us. But here we are now. So as we say every week, if you would be so kind as to say good night, Miko.
Good night, Miko.